Listen to me. Life is going to test you. It's going to knock you down, break you, humiliate you, and make you question who you are. But I came here to tell you today, you can't defeat me. You can throw pain at me, throw failure at me, throw loss at me, but I'm still standing. I might bend, but I won't break. I might fall, but I'll rise again. Because defeat isn't about what happens to you, it's about what happens inside you. You see, most people give up when life hits them hard. They tap out when the struggle gets real, but not me. I made a decision. I will not let my pain become my prison. I will not let my setbacks define me. Every time you try to break me, I grow stronger. Every time you try to stop me, I move faster. You can't defeat me because I've already beaten the hardest enemy, myself. I've conquered laziness, I've crushed excuses, I've silenced doubt. You can't defeat someone who refuses to quit. You can't defeat someone who wakes up hungry every single day, chasing greatness like their life depends on it. And I know there will be days when I'm tired, when I'm broken, when it feels like the world's against me. But that's when I remind myself who I am. I am built for this. I was born to rise through the storm. You might take my comfort, but you'll never take my commitment. You might slow me down, but you'll never stop my purpose. I don't need things to be easy. I just need them to be worth it. You can knock me down 9 times. I'll get up 10. You can throw me in the fire, but I'll come out sharper. You can't defeat me because my mindset doesn't allow defeat. So if you're listening right now, I want you to stand up and say it with me. You can't defeat me. Say it until you believe it. Because once you believe it, everything changes. The pain becomes fuel. The struggle becomes strength. The failure becomes foundation. Every giant you face will look smaller when you realize the giant inside of you. Every obstacle will fade when your vision burns brighter than your fears. You were built to overcome. You were built to conquer. You were built to win. So don't you quit. Don't you surrender. Keep fighting. Keep grinding. Keep believing. Because no matter what comes your way, you can't defeat me. Defeat is a mindset, not an event. You can lose a job. You can lose a relationship. You can lose a game. You can lose money, but none of that means you are defeated. Those are events, moments in time. They hurt, yes, they test you, yes, but they are not who you are. What makes something a defeat is not what happens on the outside. It's what you decide on the inside. The moment you say, I can't come back from this, the moment you say it's over, that's when you're truly defeated. But if there's even one spark of fight left in you, if there's even 1 ounce of belief left in your soul, then defeat cannot exist. It's only a mindset, and you have the power to control that mindset. You see, the world wants to convince you that when you lose, it's over. Society says success is final and failure is fatal, but that's not true. The most successful people in the world are not the ones who never fail. They're the ones who refuse to stay down. Every champion has scars, every winner has wounds. The difference is that they didn't label their pain as defeat. They labeled it as a lesson. They said, this didn't destroy me, it developed me. And that's the key. When you understand that defeat is mental, you take your power back. You stop letting circumstances control your identity. You stop letting other people write your story. Think about it. How many people have failed once and decided that's who they are forever? They didn't get the job, so they said, I'm not smart enough. They lost the game, so they said, I'm not talented enough. They got rejected, so they said, I'm not good enough. That's not the truth. That's a mindset built on fear and pain. The truth is you're still breathing, you're still standing, you're still here. And as long as you're still here, defeat is impossible. Because defeat requires you to stop moving, to stop believing, to stop fighting. As long as you get up one more time, then you fall, you win. When I say defeat is a mindset, I mean it literally. The body follows the mind. If your mind believes it's done, your body stops fighting. But if your mind says, oh, we're not finished, your body finds strength you didn't even know you had. That's why people can run through pain, push through fear, and survive storms that should have broken them. Because their mindset refused to surrender. They told themselves, I may have lost the battle, but I haven't lost the war. That's the mentality of a fighter. That's the mentality of someone who cannot be defeated. Look back at your own life. Think about all the things you thought would end you. The heartbreaks, the failures, the disappointments. You thought you'd never get through it, but here you are. You survived every single one. You've been through storms that could have drowned you, but you learned how to swim. You've been through fires that could have burned you, but you came out refined. That's proof right there that defeat is not real unless you believe in it. You've been tested and you're still here. That means you're undefeated. The problem is too many people let their emotions dictate their mindset. They feel hurt, so they think they're broken. They feel tired, so they think they're finished. They feel lost, so they think they failed. But emotions are temporary. Mindset is permanent. You have to learn to separate what you feel from what you know. You might feel like you can't do, but you know deep down that you can. You might feel weak, but you know you've survived worse. You might feel empty, but you know this isn't the end. When you choose to believe in what you know instead of what you feel, that's when you win the battle against defeat. The most dangerous thing in life is a defeated mindset. Because once you accept defeat, you stop trying. Once you stop trying, you stop growing. And once you stop growing, you stop living. That's why you have to protect your mindset like your life depends on it. Because it does. Every single day, you gotta feed your mind with positivity, with purpose, with vision. You gotta remind yourself who you are, even when no one else sees it. You have to wake up and say, I am not my failures. I am not my past. I am not what they said I am. I am more. I am stronger. I'm unstoppable. That's the language of a winner. That's the mindset that defeat itself. You gotta understand that life will test that mindset daily. People will doubt you. Circumstances will discourage you. You'll face moments when everything in you says to quit. But that's the exact moment when you gotta dig deeper. That's when you gotta remember, defeat is a choice and I don't choose it. You have to develop the discipline to keep going even when the results aren't showing up yet. That's what separates the average from the great. The average person quits when they don't see progress. The greats keep going because they know progress is happening even when it's invisible. The seed doesn't stop growing just because you can't see the roots. There are people out there who look successful but are already defeated because their mindset is weak. They depend on things going right to feel strong. But the true warriors, the real winners, don't need everything to go right. They make it right. They take control of their minds first, and the world follows. They say, even if it rains, I'm running my race. Even if it hurts, I'm giving my all. Even if I fail today, I'll rise tomorrow. That's power, that's resilience. That's the essence of an undefeated mindset. Let me tell you something. Failure is not the opposite of success. It's a part of success. Every time you fail, you learn. Every time you fall, you grow. Every time you're rejected, you're redirected. But when you see failure as final, you block your own blessing. You stop before the miracle happens. You stop digging just 3 feet before goal. And the reason most people never find their greatness is because they gave up too soon. They thought the loss meant they weren't good enough, when really it was life testing how bad they wanted it. The pain was never punishment. It was preparation. You can't control what happens to you, but you can control how you respond. You can't always control the loss, but you can always control the lesson. And when you choose to learn instead of lose, you transform defeat into growth. That's the power of mindset. It changes everything. You go from asking, why me, to saying, try me. You stop running from challenges and start running toward them. You stop seeing problems as threats and start seeing them as opportunity. And once your mind shifts, your world shifts with it. The truth is, every person who ever achieved greatness has had moments where they felt defeated. They cried, they doubted, they almost quit. But they didn't let the moment define them. They didn't let failure become their identity. They took that pain and turned it into power. They said that this is not how my story ends. And because of that, their legacy lives forever. That's what you have to do. You have to refuse to let a bad chapter convince you the book is over. The story isn't done yet. You still have pages to write, victories to claim, and mountains to climb. So the next time you fall, don't ask, why did this happen to me? Ask, what is this trying to teach me? The next time you lose, don't say, I'm done. Say, I'm just getting started. The next time life pushes you down, don't lie there in defeat. You rise up and push back harder. Because it's not about what happens to you, it's about how you interpret it. You can take the same situation that breaks one person and let it build you. You can take the same pain that destroys others and let it drive you. That's the power of mindset. Defeat is not the end. It's an invitation An invitation to rise higher, to grow stronger, to evolve. It's life's way of asking, how bad do you want it? And when you answer with action, when you keep pushing through the storm, you prove to the world and to yourself that you can't be defeated. Because real strength doesn't come from comfort, it comes from struggle. Diamonds are made under pressure. Champions are forged in pain. Legends are built in failure. So stop calling yourself defeated. You're not defeated. You're in training. You're not finished. You're being refined. You're not broken. You're becoming unbreakable. Don't let temporary pain convince you of permanent failure. Don't let one bad day make you forget all the good ones ahead. As long as there's breath in your lungs and fire in your heart, you are not defeated. You are becoming everything you were meant to be, because defeat is not what happens when you lose. Defeat is what happens when you stop believing. And you are not a quitter. You are a fighter. You are a survivor. You are a conqueror. So hold your head high, keep your heart strong, and remember, defeat is only real accepted. You can lose everything and still win if your mind refuses to surrender. You can face your darkest days and still rise to shine again. The battle isn't over until you say it is. And as long as you're still fighting, as long as you're still breathing, you are undefeated. Self-mastery is victory. It's the greatest form of winning you will ever experience in your life. Because the hardest person you will ever have to conquer is yourself. You can't truly win in business, in relationships, in goals, or in life until you first win the battle that goes on inside your mind every single day. The war isn't outside, it's internal. It's the war between discipline and desire, between focus and distraction, between who you are and who you're supposed to become. And until you learn how to master that inner struggle, you'll always be chasing victories that don't last. The real success begins the moment you stop blaming the world and start taking responsibility for your own growth. You see, most people want to conquer the world, but they can't even conquer they want success, but they can't master their mornings. They want wealth, but they can't control their impulses. They want respect, but they can't discipline their emotions. And that's why they keep losing the same battles over and over again. You cannot win externally if you are losing internally. If you are losing internally, the world is a mirror. It reflects who you are, not who you pretend to be. So if your mind is chaotic, your life will be chaotic. If your mindset is weak, your actions will follow. But when your mind is steady, when your emotions are controlled, when your habits are disciplined, that's when you start winning, truly winning. Every day you wake up to two voices in your head. One says, I stay comfortable, take it easy, do it tomorrow. The other says, get up, push harder, do it now. One is your inner enemy, lazy, fearful, and weak. The other is your inner champion, hungry, focused, and unstoppable. And whichever one you listen to determines the direction of your life. Self-mastery means learning how to silence that enemy, to quiet the voice that keeps you stuck in comfort, and to feed the voice that drives you toward greatness. It's about making decisions based on purpose, not on how you feel in the moment. Because feelings change, but purpose stays constant. Oh, think about it. How many dreams have died because someone didn't feel like working today? How many opportunities have been lost because someone let emotions decide for them? The person who masters their emotions masters their destiny. You have to stop letting temporary feelings make permanent decisions. You have to stop giving power to weakness. You can feel tired and still move forward. You can feel afraid and still take action. You can feel uncertain and still make progress. Self-mastery doesn't mean you never feel negative emotions. It means those emotions don't control you anymore. There are people with talent who never make it, not because they weren't good enough, but because they weren't disciplined enough. They didn't learn how to master themselves. Discipline will take you places motivation can. Motivation is temporary. It's like a spark, but discipline is the fire that keeps burning even in the storm. The difference between winners and losers isn't talent. It's consistency. The winners show up when it's hard. The winners stay focused when distractions scream their names. The winners keep their promises to themselves even when no one's watching. That's self-mastery. Doing what you said you do long after the mood you said you do long after the mood you said it has left you. You can't master yourself if you're constantly a prisoner of your emotions, your habits, or your past. The person who has no control over their reactions is easy to defeat. That's why you have to practice calmness under chaos. You have to train your mind the way athletes train their bodies. Every day, challenge yourself. Wake up early when you don't want to. Work on your craft when no one's applauding. Choose kindness when anger tempts you. Forgive when bitterness calls. That's how you build inner strength. Through repetition, through practice, through the daily decision to be in charge of yourself. Self-mastery isn't about perfection. It's about awareness. It's about being honest with yourself, admitting where you're weak, where you make excuses, where you settle. Most people lie to themselves about their effort. They say they're giving their all, but deep down, they know they're not. Self-mastery begins when you stop lying to yourself. When you look in the mirror and say, I can do better, I will do better. That moment of truth is the foundation of transformation. You can't grow from lies. You can only grow from honesty. Once you start mastering yourself, you realize that the world around you changes. Things that used to bother you don't anymore. People who used to distract you don't hold power over you. Situations that used to break you now build you. Why? Because your strength no longer depends on what happens around you. It comes from what's within you. You become stable in an unstable world. You become focused in a noisy world. You become calm in a chaotic world. That's the mark of mastery. Let me tell you something. The greatest victories you'll ever experience won't be trophies or applause. There'll be the quiet moments when you say a no to something that once controlled you. When you resist the temptation to quit. When you stay committed even when no one notices. When you rise above your past and choose a better future. Those are the moments that make you powerful beyond measure. Because the person who conquers himself cannot be conquered by anyone. But it takes time. It takes patience. You can't master yourself overnight. It's a daily process of breaking bad habits and building good ones. It's learning to replace instant pleasure with long-term growth. It's learning to stay humble when you succeed and to stay hopeful when you fail. It's understanding that the journey of mastery never ends. You just keep leveling up. Every time you think you conquer one area, life will test you with a new one, and that's okay. That's how you grow. So many people chase success before they're ready for it. They want to win the race before they train for it. They want the rewards without the responsibility, but success without self-mastery is dangerous. It's temporary. Because if you haven't learned how to handle yourself, you won't know how to handle success. Money will control you. Fame will blind you. Power will corrupt you. The higher you go, the stronger your inner foundation must be. That's why you see some people rise fast, but fall even faster, because their self-mastery didn't match their achievements. You don't want to be that person. You want to build from the inside out. So when the blessings come, you can sustain them. Self-mastery is about saying no more often than yes. It's about saying no to laziness, a no to negativity, a no to distractions, a no to anything that steals your focus or weakens your spirit. You have to protect your time, your energy, and your peace like it's sacred, because it is. Every time you give into something small, you weaken your will for something big. But every time you resist, every time you hold the line, your strength multiplies. That's how confidence is built. Not from speeches or affirmations, but from self-control and discipline. People talk about freedom like it's doing whatever you want. But real freedom is the ability to control yourself, the ability to choose your actions instead of being driven by impulses, the ability to stay peaceful in chaos, kind in conflict, focused in noise. When you reach that level of self-mastery, you're unshakable. The world can't move you because you've learned how to move yourself. That's when life becomes powerful. Not when you have control over others, but when you have control over yourself. And understand this, mastering yourself doesn't mean you never fail again. It means when you fail, you don't fall apart. You learn, you adjust, you rise. You don't take it personal, you take it personal, you take it as practice. You start seeing every challenge as a test of your mastery. Did you stay calm? Did you stay focused? Did you stay disciplined? That's how you measure progress. Not by perfection, but by your response. The goal isn't to avoid storms. It's to stand strong through them. So, how do you start? Wake up 5 minutes earlier. Control your tone when you're angry. Finish what you start. Keep promises to yourself. Every small act of control builds inner muscle. Every day you discipline yourself, you gain another layer of strength. Soon, things that once tempted you lose their power. Things that once scared you don't shake you anymore. That's growth, that's mastery. And one day you'll realize that the battles that once consumed you no longer define you. You become a new version of yourself, sharper, calmer, stronger. You'll look back and say, I've come a long way, not because the world changed, but because you did. The real victory was never about beating others. It was about beating your old self. Every time you grow past who you were yesterday, that's a win. Every time you choose strength over weakness, that's a win. Every time you rise above excuses, that's a win. Because at the end of the day, true victory doesn't come from trophies, applause, or recognition. It comes from peace. It comes from knowing you are in control of yourself. Your thoughts, your emotions, your actions, that's power that no one can take from you. When you master yourself, you master your life. You become your own weapon, your own source of strength, your own motivation. You no longer chase validation because you already know your worth. You no longer fear loss because you've already found yourself. So remember this, self-mastery is victory. It's the key to every other form of success. When you win within, you win everywhere. When your mind is right, your world aligns. The goal is not to control the world. It's to control yourself so powerfully that nothing the world does can control you. That's the ultimate freedom, the ultimate power, the ultimate win. Resilience over resistance. That's what separates the people who make it from the people who break. Life will always resist you. It will push against you with obstacles, disappointments, pain, and loss. It will test you when you least expect it, and it will do everything it can to slow you down. But resilience, that unbreakable will to keep moving, is what turns resistance into growth. Resistance is what the world throws at you. Resilience is how you respond. And the truth is, you can't stop resistance from showing up, but you can always choose to rise stronger because of it. Every person who's ever achieved something meaningful had to face resistance. Every athlete who became great had to train through pain. Every entrepreneur who built something special had to face failure. Every dreamer who made their vision real had to push through fear. And you don't build strength and comfort. You build in the moments when everything inside you screams to quit, but you decide to take one more step anyway. Resilience is not about pretending everything is fine. It's about standing tall even when everything isn't. It's about saying, oh, this is tough, but I'm tougher. You have to understand that resistance is your enemy. It's your teacher. It's there to shape you, to stretch you, to prepare you for the next level. When you lift weights, your muscles grow because of resistance. The more you push against it, the stronger you become. Life works the same way. The struggles you face are not meant to destroy you. They're designed to develop you. Every challenge is a training session for your soul. Every hardship builds your endurance. Every failure increases your understanding. So instead of running from resistance, embrace it. Because what feels like pressure today will become power tomorrow. Too many people quit because they think life is supposed to be easy. They think if it's hard, it means they're doing something wrong. No, the fact that it's hard means you're growing. Growth and comfort can't live in the same space. When you decide to chase something great, life will push back. That's its job. It wants to see if you're serious. It wants to see if you'll keep going when it stops being convenient. That's what resilience is, doing what needs to be done. Not because it's easy, but because it's necessary. There's a difference between resistance and defeat. Resistance is pressure. Defeat is surrender. Resistance doesn't stop you. You stop yourself when you let it win. The key is to train your mind to interpret resistance differently. Don't see it as a wall. See it as a test. Don't see it as a sign to stop. Just stop. See it as a signal to push harder. When you start viewing challenges as opportunities to strengthen your resilience, your entire life changes. You stop being reactive and start becoming proactive. You stop saying, why me? And start saying to try me. Resilience is a mindset, a muscle, a decision. It's the ability to get hit and not lose your focus. It's the ability to fail and still have faith. It's the ability to feel broken and still to rebuild. Every time life knocks you down, you have two choices. Stay down or get back up stronger. That choice determines your future. Because resilience doesn't mean you never fall. It means you never stay falling. You bounce back, you rise again. You keep showing up no matter how many times you've been through the fire, and make no mistake, resilience isn't about denying pain. It's not about pretending you're okay when you're not. It's about being real with the pain, but refusing to be ruled by it. It's saying, yes, this hurts, but it won't stop me. It's knowing that tears don't make you weak. They make you human. Resilience is not the absence of struggle. It's the strength to endure struggle without losing hope. When you develop that kind of toughness, no resistance can break you. Let me tell you something, the road to greatness will never be smooth. You'll face rejection, doubt, betrayal, and fear. People will tell you you're not good enough. You'll fail more times than you can count. But those who rise are the ones who refuse to let resistance have the last word. They use every failure as fuel. They say you can slow me down, but you can't stop me. That's the energy you need to carry in your heart. Because resilience doesn't come from comfort. It comes from surviving storms that should have destroyed you. Every time you face resistance and don't quit, you're rewiring your mind for strength. You're proving to yourself that you can survive more than you thought you could. You're building confidence not from success, but from struggle. Success might build your reputation, but resistance builds your character. And when your character is strong, no amount of failure can erase your progress. Think of a seed buried in the ground. It faces total darkness, pressure, and resistance from the soil above it. But instead of dying there, it uses that pressure to grow roots and push through the earth toward the light. That's resilience. You might be buried right now under problems, under pain, under setbacks, but you're not buried to die. You're buried to grow. You're not stuck. You're being strengthened. The resistance you feel is proof that something powerful is growing inside you. You can't develop resilience in theory. You can't read about it or wish for it. You build it in real moments of struggle. You build it when everything goes wrong and you still show up. You build it when people doubt you, but you stay consistent. You build it when your plan fails, but you create another one. Every tough situation you survive adds another layer of strength to your soul. That's why the strongest people aren't the ones who've had it easy. They're the ones who've been through hell and still came out standing. Resilience doesn't mean being emotionless. It means being unbreakable. It means you might cry, but you don't quit. You might pause, but you don't stop. You might bend, but you don't break. Because deep down, you know your purpose is greater than your pain. The goal is not to avoid resistance, it's to outlast it. Resistance runs out of energy eventually, but resilience doesn't. That's why you always win when you refuse to give up. The truth is, you'll never control how hard life hits you, but you can always control how you respond. You can decide to let resistance make you bitter, or you can let it make you better. You can let it defeat you, or you can let it define your next breakthrough. You get to choose. Every challenge is a doorway to a stronger version of you, but you only walk through if you refuse to give up. People who lack resilience live reactive lives. They break down when things don't go their way. But those who are resilient adapt, adjust, and advance. They learn how to bend with the wind instead of breaking under it. They learn how to keep their focus when everything around them is chaos. That's how you move from surviving to thriving. Because resilience isn't just about getting through, it's about growing through. It takes resilience to stay positive when everything around you is negative. It takes resilience to keep believing when results haven't shown up yet. It takes resilience to keep building when no one else sees your vision. That's the kind of strength you have to build within yourself. The strength to stay steady in storms, focused in failure, and patient in pain. When you master that, nothing the world throws at you can stop you. Sometimes resilience is quiet. It's not always dramatic. Sometimes it's simply waking up and trying again. Sometimes it's choosing to forgive. Sometimes it's smiling through the tears. It's not about pretending to be a superhero. It's about never losing the will to try. It's about choosing hope when everything says you shouldn't. And every time you do that, you're winning. You're defeating resistance, not by force, but by faith. So if life is resisting you right now, if everything seems to be working against you, understand this. Resistance means you're moving in the right direction. If there was no resistance, it would mean you're standing still. The pain you'll feel is proof that progress is happening. Keep going. Keep pushing. Keep believing. Because resilience isn't built overnight. It's built every day you decide to rise. One day, you'll look back and realize that the moments that hurt you the most taught you the most. The battles you thought you'd never win made you unstoppable. The resistance you hated was the reason you became resilient. You'll thank life for the struggle because it made you who you are. And that's when you'll understand that resilience was never just about surviving. It was about transforming. You can't stop the storm, but you can become the storm. You can't stop resistance, but you can outlast it. You can't avoid pain, but you can turn it into power. That's resilience. The decision to keep standing, keep believing, and keep fighting no matter what. Because at the end of the day, it's not the resistance that defines you. It's your resilience that does. And when you choose resilience over resistance every single time, nothing in this world can defeat you. Commitment outlasts comfort. That single statement separates the average from the elite, the talkers from the doers, and the dreamers from the achievers. Everybody loves to talk about what they want until it starts to cost something. Everybody's committed when it's convenient, but true commitment shows up when comfort disappears. The truth is, comfort kills greatness. Comfort keeps you soft. It keeps you average. It keeps you dreaming instead of doing. Commitment is what takes you through the dark nights, the long days, the lonely grind when no one's watching and no one's clapping. It's not about how loud you start. It's about how long you last when everything in you says quit. Most people start strong but finish weak. They're excited when it's new, when it's easy, when people are watching. But the moment it gets hard, the moment the pressure comes, they fold. You can't call that commitment. That's conditional effort. Real commitment means you keep going when the motivation is gone. It means you show up when the feeling fades. It means you honor your word even when it hurts. You say you were going to do it, so do it. You said you were going to chase the dream, so chase even when it doesn't chase you back. That's what separates the grace from the good, the decision to keep showing up, regardless of how comfortable or uncomfortable the path gets. See, comfort is seductive. It whispers, you've done enough. You deserve a break. Take it easy. But greatness has a different voice. Greatness says, well, there's more in you. You're not finished yet. Keep going. And you have to decide which voice you'll listen to, because every day you're in a battle between your comfort zone and your commitment. Every morning when that alarm clock rings, one of them is going to win. If you choose comfort, you'll get temporary pleasure. If you choose commitment, you'll get permanent progress. And one day you'll thank yourself for every uncomfortable moment you endured, because those moments shaped your destiny. Commitment means doing the work when no one's looking. It means grinding in silence when the crowd is gone. It means sacrificing sleep, entertainment, and excuses because your dream matters more. There are people out there who want what you want, but they're not willing to suffer for it. That's why you have to be different. That's why you have to keep pushing when they stop. The greats don't rely on motivation. They rely on discipline. They know motivation fades, but commitment stays. You can't build a legacy off of feelings. You build it with focus, sacrifice, and consistency. You see, comfort will tell you to settle. It will tell you that good enough is enough. But commitment doesn't settle. It stretches, takes you to places you never imagined, because it demands your best every day. And the moment you think you've done enough, commitment challenges you to do more. You can't grow in comfort. Growth requires discomfort, struggle, and persistence. If you want to become something you've never been, you have to do things you've never done. And that's uncomfortable. That's why most people never reach their full potential. They want results without the resistance. They want the reward without the work. But that's not how greatness works. Commitment outlasts comfort because comfort is temporary. The feeling of ease fades. The warmth of satisfaction disappears. But the results of commitment last forever. When you look back on your life, you won't remember the days you stayed comfortable. You'll remember the days you pushed through pain. The days you kept going when you didn't want to. The days you believed in yourself when no one else did. That's what commitment does. It creates stories worth telling, legacies worth leaving, and victories worth celebrating. You've got to be willing to sacrifice today for what you want tomorrow. You've got to understand that commitment is about paying the price up front. You invest your time, your energy, your focus, your everything, long before you see the payoff. And that's where most people give up. They want the reward before the sacrifice. But real commitment says, I'll keep going even if it takes years. I'll keep fighting even if I have to crawl. I'll keep believing if I have to do it alone. Because when you're truly committed, time doesn't scare you, failure doesn't break you, and comfort doesn't tempt you. You're driven by something deeper, your purpose. When you make a promise to yourself, you gotta keep it. Because if you can't keep your own promises, how can you expect to keep any others? Commitment is built on trust. And that trust starts with you. When you say you're going to do something, your mind listens. Every time you follow through, you build confidence. Every time you quit, you destroy it. That's why staying committed isn't just about reaching goals. It's about shaping your identity. You're telling yourself, I'm the kind of person who doesn't quit. I'm the kind of person who finishes what I start. And once that identity becomes part of you, nothing can shake it. Let me tell you something. When you commit to something bigger than yourself, you become unstoppable. When you commit to a vision that keeps you up at night, you stop caring about comfort. You start caring about impact. You stop asking, is this easy? And start asking, is this worth it? That's how champions think. That's how leaders rise. That's how legacies are built, through relentless, unwavering commitment to the mission. There will be nights when you'll question yourself. There will be moments when you'll feel like giving up. You gotta remember, every great success story was written in discomfort. Every champion you admire went through moments when they wanted to quit. But they did. They stayed committed when others walked away. They kept working when others rested. They believed when others doubted. That's why they stand where they are today. So, when life gets hard, don't run from it. Lean into it. Embrace the discomfort. Let it mold you, stretch you, and shape you. Every ounce of pain you endure in pursuit of your dream is building your endurance. Every sleepless night, every sacrifice, every challenge. It's all part of the process. You can't outgrow the grind. You can't skip the struggle. You've got to go through it. And once you do, you'll realize that the reward isn't just in the success. It's in who you became because of your commitment. Comfort is temporary, but regret is forever. You don't want to look back one day and realize you traded your potential for convenience. You don't want to be the person who says, I almost made it. You want to be the one who says, I gave it everything I had. And the only way to say that is through commitment. You got to decide right now that comfort will never control you again. You got to commit to the process, the grind, the pain, the sacrifice, because that's where greatness lives. When the world tells you to quit, stay committed. When your mind tells you it's too hard, remind yourself why you started. When it feels impossible, remember that commitment doesn't need perfect condition. It just needs consistent effort. You might not get there overnight, but if you stay locked in, you'll get there over time. And when you do, you'll realize it wasn't talent, luck, or opportunity that got you there. It was your commitment. So don't chase comfort, chase growth, chase purpose. Chase the version of yourself that only shows up when you refuse to quit. Because at the end of the day, comfort fades, but commitment builds empires. Comfort gives you a moment of ease. Commitment gives you a lifetime of excellence. Comfort whispers a stop. Commitment shouts, keep going. Comfort makes excuses. Commitment finds a way. And when you live with that level of conviction, when you make that level of promise to yourself, nothing can stop you. Commitment outlasts comfort because it's rooted in something permanent. Your will, your purpose, your belief that you were made for more. And as long as that fire burns inside you, you'll outwork, outlast, and outshine anyone who chose comfort over calling. Because no matter what life throws your way, no matter how dark it gets, commitment will carry you when comfort would have left you behind. That's how greatness is born. That's how legends are made. And that's how you prove, beyond any doubt, that you can't be defeated. Purpose gives power. When you know why you're doing something, you unlock an energy that can't be manufactured by motivation alone. Purpose is the invisible fire that burns long after excitement fades. It's the reason some people keep pushing when they have nothing left. It's the difference between waking up tired and waking up driven. When you live with purpose, you stop needing someone to push you because the mission itself pulls you forward. Purpose gives meaning to your struggle, direction to your decisions, and strength to your spirit. Without it, you wander. You wander. Where did you win? Most people drift through life with no real purpose. They wake up, go to work, pay bills, and repeat. But deep down, they feel empty. They confuse activity with accomplishment, but movement without meaning is just exhaustion. Purpose changes that. When you find your purpose, even ordinary days feel extraordinary because everything you do is connected to something bigger. You stop living by chance and start living by choice. You stop asking, oh, what do I have to do? And start asking, what can I do to make an impact? That shift changes everything. Purpose gives you clarity. It tells you what to say yes to and what to walk away from. When you don't have a clear purpose, everything seems urgent and everyone else's agenda becomes your own. But when you know your why, you protect your energy. You stop chasing distractions because you're focused on direction. You stop wasting time trying to please everyone because you're here to serve a mission, not opinions. That kind of clarity saves you years of confusion and regret. When you operate from purpose, pain stops feeling like punishment. It becomes preparation. Every challenge becomes a chapter in your story. Every failure becomes a teacher. When life knocks you down, purpose whispers, get up, your story isn't finished yet. You start realizing that the things that once broke you were actually building you. The sleepless nights, the disappointments, the heartbreaks, they weren't roadblocks, they were reminders that you were built for something greater than the pain you feel right now. Purpose gives you power because it fuels perseverance. It gives you a reason to keep moving when quitting seems easier. It gives you strength when your body is tired and courage when your faith is low. People who live with purpose don't just work hard. They work smart, focused, and intentional. They don't need perfect conditions because their conviction drives them. They don't wait for inspiration. They create it through action, and that's why they always find a way. When you know your purpose, failure doesn't destroy you, it develops you. You start to see that every setback is setting you up for a comeback. You stop fearing rejection because you realize rejection just redirects you toward what's meant for you. You stop competing with others because purpose keeps you focused on your lane. You understand that your journey is unique, your timing is divine, and your assignment is specific. There's no need to compare when you know who you are and why you're here. Purpose also brings power because it connects you to something eternal. Money fades, fame fades, applause fades, but purpose lives forever. When you live a life of purpose, your impact outlasts your presence. People will remember how you made them feel, what you built, how you served. Your name becomes more than just a sound, it becomes a symbol of change. And that's the kind of power no amount of comfort or convenience can ever replace. Some people say they're tired of starting over, but the truth is, they're tired because they're living without purpose. You can't outwork emptiness. You can't find fulfillment in things that don't align with your calling. That's why so many people chase success and still feel lost when they get it. Because success without purpose feels hollow. It looks good on the outside but hurts on the inside. But when your success is rooted in purpose, every victory feels meaningful because it serves something beyond yourself. Purpose transforms pressure into passion. When you're driven by purpose, you stop avoiding hard work, you embrace it. You stop running from challenges, you run toward them. Because you know every obstacle is an opportunity to grow stronger and serve deeper. You stop thinking, oh, why is this happening to me? And start saying, oh, this is happening for me. That's what purpose does. It changes your perspective. You stop seeing problems. You start seeing possibilities. You stop living in fear. You start living in faith. You've got to understand that purpose isn't found in comfort. It's found in calling. It's not about what's easy. It's about what's essential. Sometimes purpose will isolate you. Sometimes it will stretch you beyond what you think you can handle. But that's how you grow. That's how you discover who you truly are. Purpose will ask you to sacrifice, to stay disciplined, to keep believing when everything seems impossible. But that's also how you rise. You'll realize that everything worth having costs something. And the price of purpose is perseverance. Purpose gives you power because it reminds you that your life matters. You're not here by accident. You're here because there's something only you can do, something only you can give, something only you can become. The world needs your gift, your perspective, your energy. And as long as you're breathing, that purpose still lives inside you. It doesn't matter what you've been through, what you've lost, or what you failed at. Your purpose didn't expire when you made a mistake. It's still waiting for you to pick it up and run with it. The problem is, too many people are living in survival mode instead of purpose mode. They're trying to make it through the day instead of making the day count. But when you shift into purpose, you stop surviving and stop thriving. You stop reacting to life and start creating. You wake up with intention, you move with confidence, and you rest knowing you're walking in alignment. That's where peace comes from, not from comfort, but from knowing you're living exactly as you were designed to. Purpose doesn't mean every day will be easy. It means every day will be worth it. There will still be struggle, pain, and doubt. But purpose transforms that pain into progress. It gives you a reason to fight through it. It gives you perspective in the middle of chaos. It gives you the patience to trust the process when nothing seems to make sense. Purpose doesn't remove the storm. It teaches you how to stand tall in the rain. When you operate from purpose, you attract power. Not power over people, but power over yourself. Power over fear. Power over excuses. Power over procrastination. You start mastering your emotions instead of being controlled by them. You stop chasing validation because you already know your value. You stop begging for opportunities because purpose creates them. You become magnetic because people can feel your conviction. They can sense that you're not just existing, you're living intentionally. Purpose also gives you direction when life feels uncertain. It's your compass in the storm. When everything around you changes, your purpose anchors you. It reminds you that no matter what happens, you're still on assignment. It helps you navigate seasons of loss, confusion, or waiting because you know even delays have purpose. Every detour is preparing you. Every challenge is shaping you. Every closed door is protecting you. Purpose gives you the patience to trust that everything is working for your good, even when you can't see it yet. Purpose gives power because it transforms ordinary people into extraordinary leaders. It turns pain into platforms and messes into messages. It takes the broken pieces of your life and builds something beautiful out of them. When you're living in purpose, you're not chasing recognition. You're chasing impact. You don't need to be the loudest in the room because your work speaks for itself. And that's real power, the kind that doesn't fade when the spotlight moves. Every great person you admire had one thing in common. They were driven by purpose. They weren't always the smartest, fastest, or most talented, but they had a reason to keep going. They had something inside them that wouldn't let them quit. That's the kind of power purpose gives. It becomes your fuel when everything else runs out. You can take everything from a person who lives by purpose, money, comfort, applause, but you can't take their fire. You can't defeat someone who's living for something bigger than themselves. So if you're tired, frustrated, or lost, go back to your why. Ask yourself why you started, why it matters, why you refuse to quit. Because once you reconnect with your purpose, your power returns. You'll find strength you didn't know you had. You'll find peace in the middle of chaos. You'll find direction in the middle of confusion. Purpose doesn't make life easier. It makes life meaningful. It gives you a reason to endure, to rise, to fight, and to keep believing even when the odds are against you. Purpose gives power because it turns every moment into mission. It transforms your work into worship, your pain into passion, and your struggle into story. It turns your I can into I must. It makes you unstoppable. Because when you know your purpose, you realize nothing can stand in your way, not fear, not fatigue. Purpose is power. And once you tap into it, nothing else can take it away from you. Failure is feedback, not final. That's one of the most powerful truths you can ever embrace in life. The reason so many people never reach their full potential isn't because they failed. It's because they misinterpreted failure. They saw it as the end instead of the beginning. They treated it like a dead end instead of a detour, but failure was never meant to destroy you.